You stand alone, watching the door, wondering if they'll come back. The clock ticks on, but all you feel is the quiet weight of waiting. Maybe it's just a small thing, a late night, a missed call, yet it stirs something deeper. How do the ways we first connect shape how we love and trust later? Maybe you've seen it before. The pull to reach out, the fear of being left behind. Tonight, you're holding that question close, and the way you answer it will change the next time you find yourself waiting at a front door. The first thread of safety. Picture yourself lying in a crib. The ceiling blurs above you. The floor creaks somewhere out of reach. The world feels huge and loud. Every sound cuts like broken glass. Then you hear it, a voice, soft and steady. Not loud, but close enough. The kind that pushes back the noise. It's not just any voice. It's the one that means someone's there, watching, waiting, protecting. You don't know why yet, but that voice is safety. A small light in the room's cold edges. Without it, the shadows press in. The walls crowd closer. You curl up tighter. Not because you're cold, but because the quiet feels empty. That need to feel safe sticks with you. It's the first thing you hold on to. The reason you'll reach for warmth even when you're grown. Waiting at a front door, you remember that voice. Wonder if it'll come back. This feeling, this bond, is what John Bowlby first tried to understand when he developed attachment theory. He saw that from those earliest moments, you're wired to seek someone who's steady, who responds. Someone who becomes your safe base in a world that feels too big. But what happens when the voice is gone, or never quite steady? That's when the real test begins, in a stranger's room with a heart full of questions. The test of trust in a stranger's room. But picture this. You're a toddler in a bright, unfamiliar room. The walls have toys you don't know. Your caregiver sits beside you, calm. Then she stands up, walks away, leaves you with a stranger. The stranger's face is polite but unknown. You don't know if they'll keep you safe. Sometimes you cry. Your chest tightens. The noise spills out before you can stop it. The stranger looks at you, unsure. Then the door opens. Your caregiver returns. Relief rushes over you like a wave. You reach out, cling tight. Trust feels simple, a safe harbor. Other times, the stranger barely registers. You might glance up, distracted by the colors on the wall. When your caregiver comes back, you don't rush. Maybe you stay still. Maybe you look away. The warmth feels distant somehow. Each reaction cracks open the way you've learned to expect love. It's not always the same. Some kids expect comfort will arrive on time. Others wait, wondering if it will come at all. This moment of waiting, the tension in your chest, was the focus of Mary Ainsworth's work. She expanded on attachment theory, building on Bowlby's ideas, and created the strange situation procedure to see how babies respond to separation and reunion with their caregiver. It's in this test, the caregiver leaving the room, the stranger's uncertain face, the door swinging open again, where trust is quietly measured, where love feels predictable, or it doesn't. And that split-second question lingers. What happens when the knock doesn't come? When love turns uncertain. You dial their number again. Your thumb hesitates, just a second before the last click. Sometimes they pick up right away. Other times the call slips into voicemail, or worse, Silence. Every ring stretches thin, like the second hand ticking loud in a quiet room. Your heart starts to pound, not with hope, but with that tight knot of worry. You want to hear their voice, to know they're there, but the waiting fills you with doubt. That little buzz on your phone, barely a whisper, feels like a lifeline or a trap. Sometimes warmth rushes through when they answer. Other times, the cold drop of absence. You're caught in the in-between, stuck on the line that's sometimes steady, sometimes gone. It's not just impatience. It's a jitter in your chest that won't settle. Like waiting by the front door on a Friday night, watching for footsteps you can't be sure will come. That edge of wondering if they'll show up or leave you standing. This restless loop is your mind's alarm, flashing red that what you want, closeness, isn't steady. It's a signal wired deep, shaped early when care arrived in fits and starts. But what happens when the same uncertainty lives in every call, every message, every moment you reach out? What shifts when the love you seek feels like it might slip away again? Attachments shifting shadows. When love turns uncertain, you might notice how your ways of reaching out change depending on who's across the room. Picture a child sitting quietly on the porch step, calm when a familiar neighbor bends down to smile, but suddenly stiffens when a stranger approaches. That quiet shift in the eyes, the tiny pullback of a hand. It's not a fixed label stitched inside. It's the moment's dance. How safety feels right then, right there. Michael Lamb showed this clearly decades ago. Attachment behavior isn't a locked-in script. It's a reflection of what's just been happening around that child. Not some deep, unchangeable truth about who they are. You can feel it yourself if you pause. Maybe you're waiting at the front door for someone to come home. Sometimes the wait feels warm, other times tight with unease, all depending on who's bringing the key. That means your patterns, the ways you hold on or pull away, they're not set in stone. They shift with your people, your place, your moment. But what happens when the face changes? When love asks for a new dance? That part I'll save for the close. Love beyond just one face. Picture yourself on the cracked porch of your grandma's house. The sun's low now, stretching shadows across the wood. You're not waiting for just one person. Aunt Lisa's next door, laughing easy, her hugs soft and quick. Across the street, your older brother kicks a ball against the garage. He's calling you to come play. Inside, Grandma hums a tune you don't really know, but still feel. Each person brings something different. One wraps you in warmth. Another pushes you to stretch and grow. One just watches, steady and sure. Their hands, voices, ways of being. This circle shapes how you learn to reach out and hold on. It's not just one heartbeat you return to. The pull towards safety comes from many small lights flickering around you. Culture plays its part too. How your family shows love. What they expect when someone cries, laughs, or goes quiet. Maybe it's a crowded dinner table, or a rule about keeping feelings inside. These things sketch the rules you start to trust or doubt. So your story of love is wider than you thought. But if one light dims too long, if the circle feels uneven, what fills the space left behind? That's where quiet alarms start to hum. That's where love gets tested. The alarm bells in adult love. Think about the last time you saw a message sit unopened. Just a few words left hanging on the screen, no reply. You feel it immediately. That tightness deep in your chest, sharp enough to make your fingers hesitate before typing again. You scroll back through old texts. Every little pause, every mistimed emoji. It's like you're searching for a secret code that means you might be losing them. But here's the thing. That panic isn't new. It's the same alarm your brain learned years ago, back when a caregiver's attention was everything. Attachment theory, first shaped by John Bowlby, showed us how those early bonds shape what you expect from others. In the 1980s, this idea stretched beyond childhood, revealing how those old patterns echo in adult love. Your mind is still tuned to those early flashes of danger. It's not about just this one text or this one person. It's about every time you've ever feared being left behind. The heart doesn't forget how to ring the warning bell. And the question is, what do you do when that bell keeps ringing, even when you want to believe you're safe? Rewriting how you love. But you catch it again. That familiar itch to close the door before they get inside. You're waiting. Maybe on the porch lights flicker, hands shoved deep in the jacket pockets. Your breath drifts in little clouds. That pull. It tugs you back to a moment years ago when safety felt this close and then slipped away. You feel it creeping up. The urge to pull away or to cling so tight, it hurts. But this time you don't dive in. Instead, you pause. You watch the shadow dance on the porch steps. Not the whole room, just the shape it casts. It's the pattern you've known, but now you see it as a visitor, not the host. That space, it's not empty, but it's free enough to try a different step, a different turn. You realize the way you loved back then isn't the only way you can love now. Attachment theory once promised a clear map for why we form bonds, tracing back to childhood and caregiving. But psychologists, ethnographers, and psychoanalysts have long challenged its grip, showing how much it overlooks the messier parts. Culture, temperament, the social world beyond just one caregiver. It's quiet, almost invisible, but it changes everything. And then you wonder, what if the next time you let the door stay open a little longer? You stand alone, watching the door, wondering if they'll return. That moment carries the weight of your earliest ties, those first reaches for safety and warmth. But how you love now, it's not set in stone. The ways you connect, the doubts and trust, they come from patterns learned long ago, yes. Yet those patterns can shift. When you start meeting your own needs with kindness, you rewrite the silent script. Attachment isn't destiny. It's a path you can walk gently, step by step. If you listen closely, you might hear what your heart has been waiting to say.